Kayleen, I've been thinking. We've gone over quite a few birds in our videos, haven't we? Shouldn't we do a video on all kinds of birds?
You have a really good point, Michelle. In line with our ology series, we will be taking a dive into ornithology, which is the study of birds. So with that, our question for today is, what do all birds have in common?
That is a good question. You would first think that what all birds have in common is that they have the ability to fly, right? Since they all have wings, but that's actually not the case.
There are birds such as the ostrich that are unable to fly, even though they possess wings. They may have strong legs that allow them to run incredible speeds, but they are just one of the many bird species that can't actually fly.
You would also think that all birds have nests to hold their young, but that is also not the case.
Emperor penguins, for example, do not have the ability to fly, but they also don't make nests. Instead, these penguins carry their young between their legs in order to keep them warm, but they are still considered birds. So, what exactly makes a bird a bird?
Well, one of the things that all birds do have in common are their beaks. What is so amazing about beaks is that they come in different shapes and sizes.
When we look at the beak of a bird, we can make a pretty good guess as to what that bird eats. Birds of prey have sharp upper beaks that allow them to rip and tear into their food, and toucans have much larger beaks that give them that extra space to pick fruit from trees.
A beak not only serves as a way to get food, but also for personal hygiene. Birds use their beaks to do what is called preening. Preening is the behavior in which birds use their beaks to clean their feathers, rearrange them, and to peck away any of the parasites that might be on their body. Now, this is super important as many birds not only rely on their feathers for flight, but also for insulation from the cold or to keep their vibrant colors to impress a mate.
And did you know that beaks are actually made of the same material as our hairs and our nails? This material is called keratin, and a bird's beak is made up of layers and layers of this keratin, which makes it super strong. Take the woodpecker, for instance. The woodpecker utilizes its strong beak to drill into trees, and its long design allows it to also pick out any grubs or insects that it can find in those trees.
There are so many different types of beaks in the world, and they all serve a vital purpose in the bird's diet and in their health. But unfortunately, this leads many to believing that the different types of beaks support evolution.
We can actually trace this back to Charles Darwin, who specifically studied the finches of the Galapagos Islands. After looking at the different sizes of beaks of these finches, Darwin came to the conclusion that these changes in beaks from other birds meant that one species does change into one another. Darwin jumped to the conclusion that these variations in beak size supports the concept that one species, given enough time, can change into a completely different animal. But Scripture clearly reveals to us that this is not the reality that we see in birds today.
In Genesis 1:20-22, it says, "Then God said, 'Let the waters teem with swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth in the open expanse of the heavens.' God created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swarmed after their kind, and every winged bird after its kind, and God saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, 'Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth.'"
From Genesis, we can see that God created all birds after their kind, and all the rest of their creation after their kind. Even when a bird's beak may change size, shape, or even color to help it adapt, it does not completely change into a different animal. Even after thousands of years, it stays a bird. Scripture tells us that God has already made the various kinds of animals that we see since the beginning of creation. While they may have a minor change, such as a different shape of its beak, it continues to be the same kind of bird created by God. How amazing is it that God in his wisdom and creativity designed so many different kinds of birds from the very beginning?
There are so many different beaks out there in the world, and so many different kinds of birds too. Nevertheless, we can have full confidence that God was the one who created them all, beautifully and purposefully. Well, that's all the time that we have today. So if you learned a lot from this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe for more.
We hope that a bird's beak can be a reminder that creation is cool, but our Creator is even cooler. We'll see you next time!
Check out our other Creation is Cool videos here.